Hi, we're just checking out your biped character. A couple of quick things here. We pretty much notice right away if we are looking at this in our perspective view that our abdomen area down here is much smaller comparatively with our chest area. Okay, so let's take a look at this from the front here. Also notice that the center line of this chest area is not lining up with the center line of our world here. Okay, ideally we want everything to go along this center line here because later on when we mirror our geometry to the other side, everything will need to be along that center line, or the mirroring will not work. We will have all kinds of problems. So first thing first, just move this over. And also, it can't hurt to go into vertex mode, grab all these verts on the end here, and just scale them in the X direction. Okay, so that'll just line them up really nicely, so they're in a nice straight line. They're pretty straight right now. They could be a little straighter. That'll just help us prepare for later on. So, of course, since our abdomen is ending way over here, and our chest starts way over here, that only works if you have a pretty serious muffin top. So let's go ahead and change that. We'll just scale this out, just like this. Okay. Now it's starting to look a little stretched. So I'd say what I'd do in this case is maybe pull this in a little and also pull this one in as well, making sure, of course, that before we start scaling things, see, we're getting off of our center line there, that we move the pivot point to some place where we won't be affecting our center line, okay? So to move our pivot point, you're going to hold down the D key, D as in dog, and the V key, V as in vendetta. So we'll just click and drag that little circle that we have there, okay, the D key and the V key at the same time, and this little circle right here in the middle of our tool, and we can just click and drag it to this vertex right here, okay? Now when we scale, everything's going to be moving in towards that vertex, and none of this center line stuff is going to be moving, okay? So now we've just scaled that in a little bit. It's matching up with our abdomen much nicer now. It's making a little more sense. Another thing that you want to look at is right here. We've got kind of this totally flat face going on, okay? And again over here, it's totally flat in this area. We do have this geometry here, this edge right here, which we can pull out to round out this shape more. You can see now we've got this rounded shape, whereas before we have this perfectly flat square. There's no reason at all to have geometry in place if we're not going to use it to enhance the shape of our model, okay? So we gotta make sure that anytime that we have geometry, we are using it somehow to enhance the shape of our model and not just leaving any flat spaces. Okay, so just bring those guys out a little bit so this becomes a nice curve now instead of kind of this blocky thing that we had going on before. Alright, bring that out. And everything looks good other than that. So you're all good there. Now I might also, you'll want to come down to your abdomen here in this opening. You'll want to move this in quite a bit, down a bit, okay? And of course, we may wind up adjusting these things again some more later on as we're adding things to it, but for now, this will pretty much do the trick. We'll also, of course, look at it from the side, and we can see as well from the side here that things are just a little bit off, we can pull this back a bit so it lines up a little better. And we can also scale this out, alright? Or alternatively, we could scale this in if we wanted to, okay? So that'll take care of that. So make sure you make these adjustments, and once you do that, you can resubmit this for full points if you like. Let me know if you have any questions about anything we did with this today, and that's it for this video. Happy modeling!